Without a doubt, she is a standout. I know she is the only human in this piece, but even if there were others, she would be the standout because her technique is incredible. Her movement is so precise and perfect. I was enamored the entire time. I love that she kind of mirrored the journey of the snail. So when the snail was curled up, she then curled up on the chair, kind of resembling that roundness of the snail. And then as the snail poked out of the shell, she too kind of woke up with things. I did like the mimicking of apartment duties, like being at the sink, putting on shoes, laying in the bed. It kind of shows how the space once was, and then kind of the explosion that comes through as we're the way that the movement sped up and how the camera was, you could see um, it as an explosion, really. It was just very, very easy to watch because you're kind of sucked into it.
I thought the dancer was amazing, so flexible, able to show the heights of emotion with the body, and the sound design was also excellent. You can hear sounds so clearly, like a creaky door, water drops, and the dancer's hand brushing on the dusty floor. The close-up of the creeping snail was amazing, and in contrast to the dancer's sometimes almost frantic movements. Lots of clever camera work of sped-up action, slow-mo, and blurry images. The piece really captures the sadness of loss due to violence.
I thought there was a very moody and grounded aesthetic to this piece that I thought worked well. There's obviously a juxtaposition between the very deliberate and slow pacing of the piece, as well as the shots with the snail in particular. And I thought that the aesthetic of a broken house and a broken down environment with this young woman trying to perform or find herself within this space had a lot of thematic ideas that I thought were interesting. And I liked that the concept was sort of open to interpretation, and it was created in a way that was designed to make you feel things as opposed to tell you a very specific story. And I felt like the piece was just built in a way that was clear, that it was attention to detail and a focus and craft in the narrative that really comes through in making you feel like there's a deeper meaning to what you're seeing as opposed to it's just a lady in a house. I thought this was an interesting piece, and I thought that the musical choices as well really helped balance the piece and make it feel like something that had a level of depth that could relate to a lot of people, even if they didn't all agree with what the piece wanted to make you feel.
Well, the meaning seemed to be against this, dystopian urban decay. We have this human who is, really struggling to kind of go on, but kind of it can't. But when we have to see the rippling water and we see this snail coming forth from the shell, we see how even amongst this urban decay, how nature is going to continue to go on. So, um, interesting statements and visuals there concerning the plight of humankind. But the performer on screen, the dancer choreographer, did such a beautiful job. I mean, beautiful movement, wonderful expressiveness, just very skilled dancer, and just very awesome, very very nice to watch. The cinematography was, I love the black and white. I love that composition and the stillness in the opening frame where we see the building shelled out there and we see just the small image of the lady inside moving about, and it was just beautiful, beautiful. The rippling water, the slowness of the snail, all just so very gorgeous. And we see the human speeding up and kind of nature just kind of continuing at his constant pace, and we see humankind kind of collapse and nature kind of keep going on. So
I just loved how she used the whole space with her body, from like the dust on the ground to every part of the room, the chair, everything. And they kept flashing back to the snail, and I kept thinking, oh, I guess she is moving a bit like a snail, very slow, sluggish, elongated movements. And I thought, is she representing the snail? And then the music changes to this ticking clock, this sort of rhythmic ticking clock. And then her movement starts to become sporadic and in a rush, almost out of time. And I'm like, okay, there's this chaos that kind of comes with her movement, and this feeling like I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. I gotta, get moving. And she emulates this just in dancing and just the way she moves around the room. There was a shot that I just found to be very beautiful, just to shout out the cinematography, the incense sort of coming into the frame, and then seeing the the hole in the wall in the background, and just the smoke billowing. It was just very beautiful moment that just stood out to me. But
I loved the dancer. There was one part in this a little bit later on where they did a great job with this sound effect of a ticking clock, and they blurred the dancer's movements. And I thought that that was really incredible. I thought it was a beautiful job with the black and white too. It gave it, they gave a richness to the black and white that I thought was great. The music was perfect. It was just enough to give the whole piece this other layer, which I thought was really, really cool.